Selamat datang dalam acara Official International Launch Entrepreneur Marketing dengan tema The Punakawan Spirit in Digital Times. Sebelum kita memasuki acara pada siang dan malam hari ini, saya ingin menyapa beberapa tamu undangan yang secara khusus sudah hadir pada acara hari ini. Yang pertama, selamat datang His Excellency Bapak Febrian Rudriat, selaku Permanent Representative of the Republic of Indonesia to the United Nations, serta the World Trade Organization dan organisasi internasional lainnya di Jenewa. Yang kedua, selamat datang juga kepada Bapak Hermawan Kartajaya, selaku founder dan chairman M-Corp Indonesia, sekaligus co-author dari 11 buku bersama Profesor Philip Kotler, selaku yang kita kenal sebagai Father of Modern Marketing, di mana buku 11, buku yang terbaru, akan menjadi buku yang akan kita bahas pada hari ini. Dan yang ketiga, selamat datang juga Bapak Eri Prasetyo, selaku Program Officer Regional and National Development Sector di World Intellectual Property Organization. Dan tentu saja tidak lupa saya ingin menyapa dan mengucapkan selamat datang kepada seluruh tamu undangan yang sudah hadir secara offline di gedung World Intellectual Property Organization Jenewa, Swiss, dan juga rekan-rekan media, baik yang hadir secara offline bersama saya hari ini di Philip Kotler Theater Class Markplos Campus Jakarta, dan juga teman-teman wartawan yang hadir secara virtual bergabung kita pada hari ini. Saya mengucapkan selamat siang ya Bapak-Bapak, Ibu-Ibu sekalian yang ada di Swiss, dan selamat malam rekan-rekan yang hadir secara online maupun offline dari Indonesia, baik di wilayah Barat, Timur maupun Tengah. Untuk mengawali acara istimewa pada hari ini, mungkin langsung saja saya persilahkan kepada Chairman dan Founder M-Corp Indonesia, Bapak Hermawan Kartajaya, untuk memberikan pengantar pembuka.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ibu-ibu, Bapak sekalian, saya perkenalkan dulu Wakil Tetap Republik Indonesia di Jenewa, Pak Febrian Rudriat, tapi asalnya Semarang. Ya. Jadi namanya memang tadi saya dijelaskan, Febri itu Februari. Kalau Rudriat itu katanya orang tua beliau ngefans sama Rudyard Kipling. Nah, jadi kita sekarang berada di gedung Weibo yang sangat megah di Jenewa, dekatnya UN Kompleks, dan berkat Pak Dubes Febrian Rudriat bersama teman-teman antara lain Ibu, wah ini yang Ibu bekerja keras ini, ada di sini tapi tidak kelihatan, ini yang bekerja keras menyiapkan ini semua. Terima kasih untuk para wartawan. Saya sapa dulu Bupati Karanganyar, katanya menurut informasi ada di sini, Pak Yuliat Mono, yang sangat senang sama Punakawan, Pak. Jadi pertama kali ceritanya Pak Dubes ini ide Sial, Creativity, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship Leadership, Bagong Petruk Gareng Semar itu dibikin wayang kulitnya di Karanganyar, dekat Solo itu oleh Pak Bupati Karanganyar. Makanya teman-teman Karanganyar pada kumpul menurut cerita ini. Dan juga Pak Winanto Adi, sahabat saya, konjen New York City yang warga Karanganyar, Pak. Kayaknya katanya lagi nonton juga. Jadi hari ini kita bersyukur mensyukuri International Official Launch di Gedung Wipo Jenewa. Ini saya seminggu yang lalu menghubungi Pak Dubes, dan Pak Dubes ini luar biasa, action only ya. Orang kerja di multilateral itu enggak bisa elit, Pak ya. Langsung action, dan langsung ternyata seminggu kemudian sudah ada di sini. Ya, karena apa? Saya menulis buku 25 tahun bersama Profesor Philip Kotler. Sebelum ini buku Marketing 5.0 ini ya. Ini originatornya juga saya dari Markplos. Jadi kami ini berpikir terus, Pak. Jadi 25 tahun bersama mbahnya marketing dunia, tapi kita perlu capnya beliau, tapi kontennya selalu dari Indonesia. Jadi ini mudah-mudahan acara online offline ini membanggakan teman-teman Indonesia yang di sini sambil promosi juga ke dunia bahwa Indonesia itu dengan manusianya yaitu Punokawan yang asli Indonesia. Saya tadi menjelaskan pada Pak Dubes bahwa kalau cerita Mahabharata yang asli dari India, maaf, itu kan cuma Pandawa. Kalau Punokawan itu ya dari Indonesia asli. Jadi kita bilang Pak, kalau PIPM, Productivity Improvement Professional Management, disimpulkan dalam Nakulo Sadewo, Arjuno, Bimo, Yudhistiro, itu tidak cukup lagi kalau menghadapi masalah yang sangat rumit ini. Sesudah pandemi, kemudian sekarang rahasia Ukraine. Nah, saya berada di Swiss ini selama seminggu lebih untuk Eiger opening ini, saya merasakan sendiri ini bagaimana barang naik semua, kemudian sesudah ini saya tidak tahu lagi antara West dan China ini bagaimana, kan kita tidak ahli geopolitik dan yang ahli aja tidak bisa menduga ini apa yang terjadi, dan posisi Indonesia kan di tengah Pak, di tengah, tidak ikut kiri, tidak ikut kanan, dan kita memang harus netral. Dan semoga Pak Dubes keluarnya buku ini Entrepreneur Marketing itu Punokawan ini Bagong Petruk Garing Semar dengan creativity, innovation, enterprise, and entrepreneurship leadership. Sial, bahasa Perancisnya langit atau heaven, itu kebetulan daerah ini daerah Perancis ya, berbahasa Perancis ini. Kalau saya kemarin di Zurich berbahasa Jerman, jadi mudah-mudahan ini sial itu cocok, yaitu untuk mencapai surga katanya, you have to be creative, you have to be innovative, you have to be entrepreneurial, and you have to be leader, not only productive, improvement, professional and management. Tidak cukup lagi PIPM itu. Karena itu Indonesia itu sebetulnya harus bangga dengan adanya cerita mitologi Bharata Yuda, di mana Punokawan itu kan mendampingi Pandawa, nggih, dan ceritanya katanya itu dewa, turunan dewa yang kemudian nyamar ya, terutama Semarnya untuk memenangkan peperangan. Dan sekarang untuk memenangkan perang, bukan perang sungguhan tapi perang melawan kebatilan di dunia ini kan makin lama makin batil, ada yang merusak lingkungan, ada yang merusak binatang dan sebagainya. Itu perlu semangat Punokawan untuk mendampingi para elit dunia yang mempunyai kekuasaan. Itu aja mungkin pembukaan ibu-ibu dan bapak wartawan yang hadir di Makplus maupun yang secara online. Mungkin Pak Dubes sekarang tolong memberikan tanggapan sedikit, karena Bapak tuan rumahnya International Official Launch. National Launch-nya nanti di gedung Perpusnas Pak, Jakarta, bersama Pak Dirjen Kebudayaan. Oke. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat malam Bapak dan Ibu, selamat sore di Jakarta, dan mungkin selamat pagi masih kita di sini. Pertama-tama terima kasih Pak Hermawan. Saya juga surprise nih, ternyata ini first launching ya Pak ya. First launching buku yang merupakan karya Pak Hermawan bersama dengan Pak Philip Kotler. Jadi saya ingat kira-kira hampir 1 minggu atau mungkin 10 hari yang lalu, saya tiba-tiba di WA Pak Hermawan menyatakan beliau waktu itu ada di Zurich ya Pak, Interlaken untuk launching, dan kemudian kita ngobrol apa yang bisa kita lakukan bersama. Rupanya beliau membawa suatu misi juga untuk book launching ini, dan yang menarik buat saya justru sebetulnya adalah tema dari yang akan Bapak bawa. Jadi Bapak waktu itu sebut mengenai masalah kreativitas, masalah inovasi, kemudian entrepreneurship, dan kemudian leadership. Saya rasa tidak ada tempat yang lebih cocok kalau semua elemen itu digabungkan ya di WIPO Pak. Karena WIPO sekarang ini kita bicara mengenai intellectual property atau hak atas kekayaan intelektual, tidak lagi dalam bentuk yang sifatnya statis atau peraturan, tapi justru WIPO ini diharapkan motornya nanti adalah inovasi dan kreativitas. Karena bagaimanapun yang namanya inovasi dan kreativitas ini akan menjadi bahan bakar dari kekayaan intelektual. tidak adanya inovasi, tidak adanya kreativitas, ini membuat isu intellectual property right atau kekayaan intelektual menjadi sifatnya statis dan hanya aturan-aturan saja, tidak menarik. Tapi begitu kita masukkan elemen kreativitas, kita masukkan elemen inovasi dan entrepreneurial, ini kita memberikan semacam avenue untuk melakukan monetizing dari hak ini. Jadi hak ini betul, exactly. Jadi pada saat Bapak sampaikan ini, saya bilang, wah ini pas betul. Kalau semua ini kita rangkum, menjadi sejalan dengan bagaimana WIPO memposisikan dirinya sebagai organisasi internasional yang bertanggung jawab di bidang hak kekayaan intelektual untuk bisa lebih down to earth. Apalagi Deputi Dirjennya adalah orang Indonesia, Pak Hasan Klip, dan Dirjennya sendiri dari Singapura memiliki komitmen yang begitu besar untuk bisa membawa istilahnya bring the IP down to earth dan lebih mengena khususnya untuk bisa mendorong small and medium enterprises. Jadi ada semangat baru sebetulnya di WIPO dengan dirjen yang baru ini yang inline dengan tema dari yang Pak Hermawan angkat. Makanya saya bilang langsung saya tangkap Pak Hermawan, kita adain aja di WIPO. Jadi sama kita message-nya dengan message WIPO sekarang ini yang memposisikan dirinya untuk lebih memberikan services bagaimana global community ini khususnya small and medium enterprises bisa memanfaatkan IP dari lebih detail lagi, lebih precise lagi monetizing IP ini rather than hanya IP dianggap sebagai suatu aturan-aturan yang hanya aturan-aturan hukum saja. Jadi ini Pak Hermawan. Oh banyak Pak. Banyak. Jadi kemarin ada presentasi dari Dirjen WIPO, kita termasuk walaupun jumlah kita dibanding jumlah penduduk Indonesia itu besar, jumlahnya rasionya masih belum, tapi ada ample of opportunity, masih ada space dan kenaikannya cukup eksponensial, ribuan pendaftaran IP. Betul. Dan Kumham ini menjadi bagian dari saya rasa kemarin kebetulan kita baru dapat kunjungan Pak Dirjen Haki. Beliau menyampaikan beberapa kebijakan pemerintah untuk juga mendorong. Jadi inline semua dengan yang Pak Hermawan sampaikan ke sini dan semoga nanti dalam diskusi buku ini banyak juga kalau saya dengar dari teman-teman ada beberapa duta besar juga mungkin akan datang untuk mengikuti acara diskusi bukunya Pak Hermawan. Mungkin demikian Pak Hermawan yang bisa sampaikan sebagai tanggapan saya terhadap program Pak Hermawan.
Ya, saya matur nuwun Pak Dubes sekali lagi. Saya baru tahu kalau WIPO sendiri itu bergerak creativity, innovation dan untuk UKM, Pak ya. Dan saya ini pendiri ACSB, Asia Council Small Business dan Asia Marketing Federation. Makanya kemarin saya bicara sama Ibu, mungkin apalagi ya yang harus kita lakukan gitu. Nah ini sekarang ketemu bagaimana sial untuk UKM Bu, karena organisasi kita Asia itu. Ya silakan Ardi.
Baik, terima kasih Pak Hermawan dan Pak Dubes yang sudah memberikan sedikit bocoran ya ke teman-teman wartawan. Jadi mungkin sudah sedikit terjawab pertanyaan kenapa tema hari ini mengambil kata kunci Punakawan dan kenapa memilih gedung WIPO sebagai tempat lokasi peluncuran buku Entrepreneur Marketing ini. Tapi saya yakin mungkin masih ada pertanyaan-pertanyaan yang masih ingin diperjelas. Untuk itu kita akan masuk ke sesi berikutnya yaitu sesi Q&A. Untuk itu kepada teman-teman media yang hadir di Philip Kotler Theater kelas secara offline maupun yang hadir secara online, kami persilakan jika ingin ada pertanyaan yang ingin disampaikan. Mungkin dari Bapak Ibu rekan-rekan yang di offline atau mungkin bisa teman-teman juga membantu kalau ada pertanyaan yang muncul di Zoom chat bisa nanti dibacakan juga. Silakan mungkin terkait dengan tema pada malam hari ini, tadi sudah disampaikan Pak Hermawan bahwa kenapa Punakawan yang kemudian diangkat sebagai tema acaranya, karena memang kalau Bapak Ibu yang sudah sempat memegang bukunya dan melihat di halaman belakang di bagian appendix, Di situ dijelaskan bahwa inspirasi dari buku ini salah satunya adalah 4 tokoh punakawan. Di situ sebagai simbol dari creativity, innovation, entrepreneurship, dan leadership. Itu yang kemudian menjadi spirit atau model utama di dalam buku Entrepreneur Marketing ini. Baik, mungkin sambil menunggu rekan-rekan wartawan, mungkin izin bertanya juga ini Pak Hermawan, dan mungkin Pak Dubes juga bisa menyampaikan juga. Tadi disampaikan terkait dengan UKM, ya mungkin ini satu isu yang terus menjadi pembahasan di negara, terutama di negara kita, bahwa UKM ini memegang peranan penting dalam perekonomian. Tetapi kita tahu selama pandemi kemarin, UKM menjadi sektor yang paling terkena dampaknya. Nah mungkin bisa disampaikan bagaimana kemudian dengan spirit entrepreneurial marketing ini, dengan spirit punakawan dan ini bisa membantu UKM-UKM kita untuk bangkit di era pasca pandemi ini.
Kalau UKM di Swiss gimana Pak? Waktu pandemi barusan ini terus kreativitas apa yang mereka punya supaya enggak hancur gitu?
Kalau kita lihat, walaupun saya tidak bertanggung jawab untuk hubungan bilateral dengan Swiss, saya lebih kepada UN Pak ya, tapi saya dari Jenewa, saya bisa melakukan observasi. Memang small and medium enterprises ini menjadi backbone dari Switzerland. Kalau kita perhatikan banyak memang perusahaan-perusahaan besarnya banyak, tapi perusahaan-perusahaan menengah dan kecil ini adalah yang menjadi backbone mereka, dan banyak kan bekerja di bidang services. Ada beberapa yang memang di bidang yang sifatnya manufacturing barang-barang presisi, tapi yang di bidang services ini sebetulnya yang paling terdampak karena dengan pada saat pandemi ini kan lockdown mereka cukup panjang. Dan ini sangat berdampak kepada kehidupan perekonomian khususnya yang ditopang oleh small and medium enterprises. Ada upaya sebetulnya untuk mendiversifikasi dengan berbagai upaya diversifikasi, dan kalau saya lihat memang akhirnya mau tidak mau mereka harus menyesuaikan dengan situasi yang ada, seperti misalnya pertemuan perdagangan online, e-commerce dan lain-lain yang lebih diperkuat, dan juga aplikasi-aplikasi yang banyak. Dan ini saya rasa hampir sebagian besar negara melakukan hal yang sama, jadi hampir tidak ada beda, walaupun mungkin besarannya beda ya, tapi metodenya bagaimana menghadapi pandemi ini saya lihat ada kesamaan pola, memanfaatkan IT, lebih menggiatkan e-commerce, dan juga jenis-jenis bisnisnya mulai banyak berubah. Yang penting at the end tuh kayaknya kalau saya lihat adalah mitigasi dan adaptasi. Jadi mitigasi dari segi peraturan, bagaimana pemerintahnya memberikan fasilitas regulasi yang memungkinkan small and medium enterprises atau businessman untuk melakukan adaptasi terhadap jenis model perdagangan atau kegiatan ekonomi karena adanya pandemi. Mungkin demikian kayaknya Pak.
Ya, jadi saya melihat dari Indonesia keberanian luar biasa. Dari maaf saya menyebutkan brand Eiger itu kan kebanggaan Indonesia ya, di Indonesia nomor 1 itu berani buka di Interlaken Pak. Jadi saya ke sini juga dalam rangka diajak Eiger untuk buka di Interlaken, dan ketika saya lihat produk-produknya juga sangat kreatif, tidak ada ya di Indonesia itu Pak. Jadi mereka survei dulu ke Chamonix, ke mana-mana, ke Paris juga lihat fashionnya, ke Milan. Chamonix kan dekat sini ya, tempat salju itu, ski di situ, dan kemudian berani sekali masuk dengan kreativitas gaya Eropa dan inovasi. Jadi kalau buat kita di buku ini, inovasi itu adalah solution, kalau kreatif itu ide gitu. Entrepreneur ngambil risiko yang diperlukan. Kemudian baru leader itu yang menjamin supaya penciptaan value oleh entrepreneur itu tidak melenceng gitu, tapi kan values gitu. Nah, ini keberanian yang harus dicontoh oleh orang-orang Indonesia, jangan cuma ekspor saja melalui pemerintah sudah menyediakan macam-macam Pak. Saya dulu staf khususnya Menteri KUKM 5 tahun, jadi saya lihat memang pemerintah ini sudah memihak sekali untuk UKM. Tapi justru yang kita harapkan adalah UKM itu sendiri mencari jalan. Karena the real entrepreneur itu tahan jatuh bangun. Jadi ya kalau dikaitkan dengan WIPO dengan UKM, memang lupa biasanya UKM itu mendaftarkan ciptaannya ke WIPO sehingga akhirnya ditiru orang. Ya atau ditiru orang. Sedangkan kalau negara-negara maju ingat dia. Sehingga kalau ditiru gitu ya sudah nanti perang hukum gitu. Kalau kita enggak gitu. Jadi ya mudah-mudahan kita berada di Swiss selama seminggu ini saya lihat ya human resources-nya Swiss ini luar biasa. Walaupun teknologinya sangat canggih seperti gondola yang membawa naik ke atas itu gimana train itu. Saya bayangkan ini gimana train sudah 100 tahun itu Pak. Yang Gunung Eiger itu gimana aman terus itu. Tapi manusia Swiss membuat keju, membuat coklat, membuat arloji itu bisa teliti begitu akhirnya human over technology. Jadi ya mudah-mudahan human Indonesia itu tidak kalah. Karena itu saya ke sini dengan semangat Pak, memberikan semangat pada teman-teman walaupun seumur 75 ini. Makanya pakai topi ini terus ini supaya enggak kelihatan jelek-jelek banget gitu. 75 tapi memberikan semangat supaya jangan takut. Kreativitas kita, inovasi kita itu bisa. Nah, buktinya saya bisa kok 25 tahun ngajak Philip Kotler pakai konsep Indonesia masuk sini. Buktinya ya bisa kok Punokawan masuk sini. Itu dulu Ardi.
Baik, terima kasih Pak Herman, Pak Dubes. Ini ada satu pertanyaan dari Mas Agus Yuwono dari adadimalang.com. Beliau pertama mengucapkan selamat untuk launching buku ini. Dan waktu di Malang sempat bertemu dan dijelaskan juga oleh Pak Hermawan sekilas tentang acara ini termasuk semangat Punokawannya. Nah ini pertanyaan dari beliau, mungkin bisa dijelaskan kepada kami yang belum sempat membaca bukunya tentang semangat Punokawan yang ditampilkan dalam buku tersebut dalam hal survive ataupun mengembangkan suatu usaha termasuk untuk UMKM.
Ya makanya seperti saya tadi bilang, kalau UMKM itu jangan bikin produk yang sama dengan yang lain, harus kreatif, inovatif, solusi untuk customer. Kemudian mesti punya semangat entrepreneur yang sungguhnya dan semangat leadership. Jadi bukan cuma semangat menjadi professional manager. Kalau professional manager itu kerja di perusahaan besar. Perusahaan besar pun dalam keadaan pusing. Karena biasanya kalau sudah besar tidak kreatif lagi orang-orangnya. Iya toh Pak? Dan tidak inovatif. Dan kehilangan entrepreneurship. Nah kalau yang punya tok yang entrepreneur atau dewan direksi yang entrepreneur akan mati gitu ya Pak. Mungkin ada tambahan Pak.
Ya kalau udah disampaikan oleh Pak Hermawan sih apalagi yang ditambahkan Pak. Karena gurunya udah di situ. Tapi kalau saya lihat memang tadi yang sangat menarik buku Pak Hermawan ini dalam arti menyelipkan local wisdom mengenai Punokawan ini. Itu yang saya lihat cukup menarik. Artinya bahwa dalam dunia yang saat ini banyak orang sampaikan selalu kita ini mengalami disrupsi gitu ya. Jadi disrupsi ini harus diatasi tidak dengan cara-cara yang konvensional. Nah, Punokawan ini saya rasa salah satu elemen yang non konvensional. Kalau kita baca, jadi satu memperkenalkan bahwa yang namanya kemampuan human ini sebetulnya jauh atau menjadi elemen utama dari yang bisa melakukan untuk adaptasi. Jadi kalau kita lihat, jadi saya jadi terpikir Pak Hermawan, dengan adanya artificial intelligence sebenarnya kita nggak usah takut gitu. Karena dalam buku Pak Herman ini menunjukkan bahwa artificial intelligence itu at the surface of human gitu loh. Jadi human tetap menjadi tokoh utama yang bisa memanfaatkan, memaksimalkan keberadaan artificial intelligence. Jadi ini saya jadi ingat kalau di Jepang namanya itu apa namanya social 5.0. 5.0 society 5.0 di mana society-nya yang ada di depan. Betul. Mungkin gitu Pak.
Kalau Jepang memang semangat saya Asia Pak, Jepang memang. Dan karena itu saya bikin World Marketing Forum yang beda dengan World Economic Forum di Davos ini. Jadi pertama saya adakan di Kamakura Pak, di Tempel Kamakura. Kedua di Ubud barusan tahun lalu, akhir tahun lalu di Ubud. Nanti tahun ini di Chiang Rai di Thailand. Dan yang datang yang ngomong enggak boleh yang sudah terkenal, youth, women, netizen Pak. Anak muda, bukan orang senior seperti kita, women dan netizen. Gitu Ardi.
Baik, terima kasih Pak Dubes, Pak Hermawan. Ini ada dua pertanyaan lagi Pak. Saya bacakan yang kedua dulu. Dari Mas Sampurno, Radar Malang. Mungkin hampir mirip dengan pertanyaan pertama tadi, Pak. Indonesia sedang memasuki era penyesuaian pertumbuhan ya, pasca 2 tahun pandemi. Harapannya UMKM bisa sebagai booster pertumbuhan tersebut. Sebenarnya angin segar apa yang bisa diberikan kepada UMKM di negeri ini dari penerbitan buku Entrepreneur Marketing dengan simbol punokawanya? Dari Mas Sampurno, Radar Malang. Monggo Pak Hermawan atau Pak Dubes.
Yang pertama sekalian karena waktunya.
Ya.
Pertanyaan pertama sekalian.
Ya. Baik, tadi mirip Pak ya. Sekalian yang kedua dari Pak Jai Wijaya, Radar Surabaya. Ada pertama, mungkin bisa cerita Pak, dari mana ide punakawan itu bisa muncul gitu ya. Inspirasi cerita di belakang layar. Dan menurut Bapak kira-kira penerimaan dunia terhadap tokoh punakawan ini seperti apa? Kan ini kan tokoh lokal Indonesia ya. Tidak seperti Pandawa yang memang sudah dikenal di India dan mendunia gitu.
Saya tadi bercerita Pak Dubes, sebetulnya ini tantangan dari Pak Sultan Hamengkubuwono ke-10 ketika saya merayakan ulang tahun ke-72 di Jogja. Ini 75 sekarang Pak, barusan menyerahkan diri jadi kadaver di FK UNER. Nah, tiap tahun ganti-ganti. Pada waktu itu wakil dari Pak HB10 minta supaya kapan Pak Hermawan bikin buku internasional Philip Kotler based on Javanese philosophy. Nah jawabannya ya 3,5 tahun kemudian. Jadi makanya saya nanti mencoba menghadap Pak Jokowi karena di sini dedikasi ke Pak Jokowi dan saya kebetulan kenal juga sebelum jadi presiden. Pak Pratikno lagi ngurus ini Pak, dicarikan waktu dan juga nanti kita akan serahkan pada Pak Sultan HB10. Ini latar belakangnya. Kalau kedua UKM sendiri ya bolak-balik UKM menurut saya kalau dibantu harus dibantu Pak. Cuma kalau kemudian dimanja jangan. Nanti akhirnya bikin apa saja kalau tidak laku marah-marah ini Pak. Harus dibantu habis, tidak bisa. Jadi UKM harus kreatif, inovatif, dan entrepreneur dan leader. Itu aja menurut saya. Mudah-mudahan buku ini nanti disambut bagus terutama untuk UKM. Walaupun buku ini tidak ditulis untuk UKM. Bahkan untuk perusahaan besar sebetulnya ini. Karena perusahaan besar kebanyakan kan kehilangan kreativitas innovation orangnya. Dewan direksinya aja yang sebetulnya ngotot itu begitu.
Gimana? Oh, ya.
Baik. Baik, terima kasih Pak Hermawan. Kebetulan ini sudah hadir juga secara online Bapak Jeki Musri ya sebagai koautor buku ya. Entrepreneur Marketing ini juga. Ya, hadir secara online karena beliau lagi di Jawa Timur, jadi hadir bersama kita pada malam hari ini juga.
Sebentar kemudian kita tutup acara ini karena ini kayaknya peserta di sini sudah mulai hadir.
Baik, selamat malam semuanya. Selamat malam, Excellency, Pak Dubes, Pak Rudian. Ya, basically buku ini menjelaskan secara sederhana bagaimana mengonvergensikan antara profesionalisme dengan entrepreneurship, dengan entrepreneurial mindset. Dan konvergensi dua klaster ini itu yang dapat menjamin bahwa paling tidak kita bisa melewati tahun 2025 dan bisa membawa kita ke 2030, apapun kondisinya nanti, meskipun kata IMF adalah lebih gloomy dan lebih uncertain, dan bahkan sesudah tahun 2030. Kalau tadi disinggung mengenai UKM, justru kita melihatnya bahwa UKM itu yang paling penting bisa menerapkan konsep ini, karena kebanyakan UKM seringkali adalah statusnya produser saja, bukan real entrepreneur, dan kadang kalau sudah jalan bisnisnya tidak bisa melembagakan profesionalismenya. Startups juga demikian. Kadang kuat sekali entrepreneurial mindset-nya, cari-cari kesempatan dan sebagainya, tetapi lupa melembagakan profesionalismenya juga, sehingga kadang banyak yang tidak sustain. Sementara perusahaan besar, itu sangat kuat dalam profesionalismenya, tetapi semakin besar perusahaan, semakin kehilangan kreativitasnya, sehingga perlu mengembalikan lagi semangat entrepreneurial mindset dari founder-foundernya dulu. Kemudian, kalau kita bisa menggabungkan kedua kapabilitas entrepreneurial mindset dengan profesionalisme, kita akan menjadi omnistar. Dan inilah suatu organisasi, apapun itu, baik itu perusahaan, lembaga negara, pemerintah, perguruan tinggi, bahkan diri kita sendiri secara individual, itu bisa paling enggak memiliki senjata untuk melewati tahun 2025 menuju 2030 dan bahkan sesudahnya. Demikian Pak Hermawan, demikian Excellency. Terima kasih.
Baik, terima kasih Pak Jeki yang sudah tadi memberikan cerita juga ya terkait dengan buku ini gitu. Mungkin kita masih ada satu pertanyaan lagi bagi teman-teman yang pengen mengklarifikasi sebelum kita akan mulai acara bedah buku yang akan dilakukan secara offline di Gedung WIPO di Jenewa, Swiss. Silakan. Mungkin dari teman-teman yang offline sudah semua? Baik, mungkin karena tadi pertanyaan-pertanyaan baik yang online maupun offline juga sudah dibacakan. Untuk sesi berikutnya, ini sesi yang ditunggu-tunggu yaitu acara bedah buku yang akan dimoderatori oleh Bapak Eri Prasetyo sebagai Program Officer Regional and National Development Sector di WIPO. Kepada Bapak Eri, panggung saya serahkan, Pak. Silakan.
Distinguished guests, welcome to the event of the book launch, and then we will start the event in a second, and we will give the floor to the moderator. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, for ladies and gentlemen who are still there, I invite you to join us closer to the podium so we can join us in our event. Good afternoon. Indonesian Permanent Representative to the United Nations, WTO, and international organizations, Ambassador, His Excellency Ambassador Febri Arudiat, Mr. Hermawan Kartajaya, or dalam bahasa Indonesia we call Pak Hermawan, a co-founder of Mark Plus and Indonesian marketing guru, if I may say, Mr. Eri Prasetyo, or we can call him Pak Heri, as our discussion for today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's event, the launch and discussion of the book, Entrepreneurial Marketing, Beyond Professionalism to Creativity, Leadership and Sustainability. My name is Esfandi Nurbi. I will be moderating today's discussion. We have the privilege to have today with us Pak Hermawan Kartajaya, one of the co-authors of the book. As you may already know, the book is co-authored by leading persons or authorities in marketing, which includes Pak Hermawan Kartajaya, Mr. Ho Den Huan, Jeki Musri, and of course, Mr. Philip Kotler, which many has been considered as the father of modern marketing. At the outset, I may comment that we have high expectation for the book, since the concept of entrepreneurship marketing is intended to answer the current and future challenges in marketing. And today we have the privilege to learn more about this book. Before we start, I would like to inform all of us the agenda for today. First, the opening of the event by our permanent representative, Mr. Ambassador Febrian. Remarks and presentation by Pak Hermawan, and remarks and as discussion by Pak Eri Prasetyo. And finally, question and answers. To start the event, I would like to kindly invite His Excellency, Pak Dubes, Ambassador Rudiat, to give his opening remarks. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Esfandri, and good afternoon to all of colleagues, and especially my dear brother, Ambassador Khalil. Welcome to the gathering, and I have to make a disclaimer that I'm not an expert on marketing, but I'm just the provocator to create this gathering and give the forum for Pak Hermawan to share with us on his latest book. I think it's not every day that you will see Indonesian Mission will host a gathering for book discussion. It's always for focus group discussion or certain issue, but not a book discussion. So today is a special day for even for me, but I believe that we can learn one or two things, very important thing from you. The reason why we host this event is that first, of course, because of the idea that being brought by Pak Hermawan into the book, which include not only the mainstream marketing element, but also the new one, which include some local wisdom from Indonesia. And this is very interesting. And I believe it deserves more of our time and attention to listen closely to what you're going to say. The other thing is, I think in your book, you mentioning about creativity, innovation, entrepreneurship, and leadership. And that's exactly what WIPO will bring into the, to highlight in their works in Geneva. I still remember DG Darentang, maybe Eri still also remember when he first elected as a DG of WIPO, he want to make sure that the issue of intellectual property right go down to earth. It's not only a couple of article or formulation of the wording in governing the intellectual property, but also being able to be used as a mean to create, to induce innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship. So I think when you mentioning about your new book, there's in my opinion, there's no other place which is more relevant to be able to launch your book apart from WIPO. So here we are. Thank you so much for your kind time that you spend with us. And I just don't want to make a further comment because you are the star. It's not me. So with that, I would like to end my remarks at this stage. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pak Dubes, for the kind opening remarks. And I invite Pak Hermawan. The floor is yours.
Ya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Izin Pak, may I stand up here so to make a closer place with you. So thank you so much, Pak Ambassador. Only 1 week ago, when I was in Interlaken, Switzerland, I got the news that the book already out. Actually, I've been working with Professor Philip Kotler, the father of modern marketing, now 91 years old, at Kellogg Business School, Northwestern University for 25 years. And this is my 11th book. 11 title. And Wiley US, the publisher, is very optimistic about this book. That's why I was very happy and try to persuade the ambassador to do something in Geneva. How we do anything, even small or big. I know 1 week is not enough, but this is a special ambassador. And I was, wow. And Ibu Sofia working very hard with Pak Chandra to prepare all this beautiful landscape. We can see Lake Geneva from here, Lake Geneva, and then see the fountain also. So thank you so much, Pak. Thank you so much. Pak Eri, the WIPO officer, now, diplomat also from Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Thank you for being here just to give comment about the digital time itself. I prepare not so many slides. I know this is not a scientific session, but I would like to promote the idea. But first, please play the 44-second video, Pak. The first slide. Can you help? This is the Interlaken event. I think for the first time, Indonesian company with the creativity, innovation, entrepreneurship, and leadership here in France is paradise.
Ini sayang di luar.
dare to open the outlet in Interlaken. And this is the CL action for me, not PIPM action. PIPM means productivity, improvement, professional, and management. In the certain time, productivity is not enough, not creativity. You don't need to be creative. Productivity, as long as you have KPI and then you achieve the KPI, that's enough. And then improvement. What in Japanese they say kaizen. Kaizen is improvement. Today must be better than yesterday, and tomorrow must be better than today. And then professionalism by university and school and whatever, school of business, school of diplomat, school of law, school of whatever, prepare you to be a professional. And number 4 is management. But today with very uncertain era after pandemic, not only pandemic, Russia, Ukraine, and then West China, whatever, nobody can predict what is happening. So all of us, whether it is small, medium enterprise or diplomat even, or business executive, or everyone should be creative in order to enhance the productivity. Productivity will be limited without creativity. Improvement will be limited without innovation. Professionalism even will be limited without entrepreneurship. And management will be limited without leadership. That is the summary of my slide. So, okay, this is the Professor Philip Kotler, 91 years old now. And he told me, Hermawan, you are still 75 years old. 75. Life begins at 70 in US. So you are still 5 years old. I'm 21. Huh? You eat cheese. I eat nasi in Indonesia, right? Nasi is rice, nasi goreng, fried rice. It's different, sir. No. You have the spirit, not like 75 years old. I'm 75 years old. So he told me, you must contribute to the world. He does not need money anymore because he is rich from the textbook. His textbook is used and being used until now for bachelor degree, master degree, PhD degree in business. So if you go to business college anywhere in the world, I think the name of Philip Kotler will be remembered. I'm nothing. I'm from Indonesia. And I'm a failure story in engineering school. So I don't have any bachelor degree. I used to be a teacher for 20 years, teaching mathematics. But after 15 years of teaching, the government of Indonesia found out that I don't have any certificates in bachelor degree. So I went to business school, but never attended one class and then passed. And my master degree is from UK, just distance learning, and my PhD degree from honorary doctorate degree from the same engineering school that I didn't complete. And my professorship 5, but from Malaysia, from Korea, from other countries. But I never use my title because I don't have the right. But I met Philip Kotler about 1998, 25 years ago, and Indonesia was in a crisis. The worst crisis country in the world at that time is Indonesia. Asian crisis, Korea crisis, and Tom Yam Goong crisis, blah, blah, blah. But Indonesia is the worst. 1998, I still remember. But I was the president of Asia Pacific Marketing Federation. And the Russian invited me to go to Moscow. No war at that time. And they want to learn from the West. They invited Philip Kotler, they invited me. What happened in Indonesia? And how marketing can help the Asian crisis? But Philip Kotler no answer because he has no idea about ASEAN, no idea about Asia, no idea about Indonesia. And then he met me, but he remember me. I know your name, Hermawan. Your name was quoted by another professor in global marketing textbook. And I used the book for teaching global marketing. Every professor used my book for teaching, but I used Professor Wiraningrum book. Yes, I met him in Wharton, and then he quoted my model. Yeah, my model is very simple. Yeah, but explain to me. And nobody spoke English at that time in Russia. That is a blessing in disguise. And then I explain everything, and then he told me, this is the simplification of my complex textbook. Let's co-author together. Wow, I was very happy about Asian crisis. I can only simplify the complex thing. Sorry, so many professors complicate the simple thing. So he was not agree. He's American, you know. American is always open-minded. And I confess to him, I don't have PhD, I don't have professorship. My English is not so good because I didn't go to US for schooling. My son, yes. My daughter, yes. But I know. I don't need your English. I don't need your professorship. I don't need the PhD because I have everything. Just your idea. Asian crisis. So 1998 until now, 25 years. So next. This is all my book before entrepreneur marketing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the first book, Repositioning Asia, when Asia was in crisis. Only 5 languages. But this book, becoming best business book in US. I am all the book as the content originator. So I originated the content, and then I presented to Philip Kotler and to Wiley. When they are happy, they publish. Now, very easy because they trust me. Wow, when here, very difficult, sir, to be honest, to be published by Wiley US. Because number 1 in trade book publisher, not textbook. Trade book, it is not selling, they will not publish your book again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 until 10. This is in the 25 years. So this is marketing 3.0, marketing with honesty. To be honest, this is the inspiration from Prophet Muhammad. I'm Catholic. But I know Islam a little bit because Indonesia is the biggest Muslim populated country in the world. And then Central Bank asked me as the consultant of Islamic banking in Indonesia. Let's see the Islamic banking from outside. And then I found out that marketing is honesty, actually, human spirit. So many people use marketing for bad, but marketing for good. Wow, this book, 27 languages. This is the starting. This is only 5 ASEAN and 27 languages. And then 4.0 is about technology. Because Philip Kotler told me, Hermawan, talk about technology now, digital. Okay, technology, 24 languages. And Marketing 5.0, why the best business book in US? Because we are worried. With the technology, people are more easy to use the technology to cheat the customer. Is that right? Now, our data in Google, who can guarantee that they don't sell our data? Almost every day, I get message from, I don't know, whoever. But that's why so many women professors are angry with the technology. One woman professor from Harvard, I think, wrote 700 pages. And I wrote only Marketing 5.0 by becoming best business book in US. So 3.0, 4.0, 5.0, hopefully this December, we will publish again 6.0, meta marketing. So what happened in meta, in metaverse 2030? We believe that 2030 will be a new world with SDG anything, but metaverse will be happening in 2030. So what happened with marketing in 2030? But this is the series. Yeah, 6.0, 7.0, and 8.0. Because Philip Kotler told me, let's work together until 2030, at least. He was born in 2031. So he will take rest 2030, 1 year before 100 years. Wow. I will be 75, will be, I don't know, 80 something. Hopefully. Okay, next. And this is the book. Wow, just out 1 week ago when I was in Interlaken, that's why I persuaded the ambassador. The ambassador is action. People with action. I try to use WIPO. And we are blessed today because of Ibu Sofia and Pak Jendra also. And what is the specialty? Pak Jendra used to work for my company only 6 months, Pak. Yesterday he remember me. Oh, but now you are his boss, Pak. I'm his boss only 6 months, yeah, in Indonesia. So this is 6.0 December, and this is March 14. Before the book was really published, China and South Korea already signed. Wow, Wiley is very happy. Usually they wait until the real book come out, and then they bring the book to Frankfurt Book Fair, and then all the local publisher will see which one is good to be translated. But China and Korea is very fast because they know the name already. My book always translated into Korea and Chinese and many other books, many other languages. Next. And this is my model. Pandemic, government, everybody was panicked, and then this recovery, transformative, adaptive, and we are here, 2030. Clash of Titans, I think. Clash of Titan, China and the West will, I don't know, hopefully not nuclear war, but yeah, Cold War for sure. Cold War for sure. And 23, 24, 25 will be political year. And we predicted that 2026 to 2030 will be the new world order, visionary. So SDG, Gen Z, and Metaverse. We believe on those three. Yeah, we see in Europe, wow, everything goes green, everything goes net zero. Pak Hasan clap. Yeah, Pak, shake hand with you, and then I will give one book with you. Yeah, take picture, okay. Sorry. This is Indonesian style. Pak Hasan clap. So please take picture. I want to work with WIPO, Pak, because I'm the founder of Asia Council Small Business, Pak.
Oh, great.
Ya, terima kasih ya, Pak.
Terima kasih, Pak, ya.
Makasih, Pak Hasan Klep. Makasih, Pak. Okay. Sorry, I continue, ya. So, this is visionary, the 5 years new world order. We believe, Philip Kotler and I believe that from 2026 and to 2030, we are not expert in geopolitics, but we use instinct that 5 years before SDG, everybody will pretend to be good. Whether it is real good or not, I don't know, but everybody will pretend to be good. SDG, Gen Z, and Metaverse. Metaverse will be here. So that's why now this entrepreneurial marketing book must be adjusted to the fact, to the reality of 2030. Next. This is the model. CL, Creativity, Innovation, Entrepreneurship, Leadership, CL, is created by human. But productivity, improvement, professional management, be careful. It could be replaced by machine. Productivity for sure. Improvement for sure. Professionalism for sure. Accounting professional. Now, accountant cannot work anymore because you just put the data, input the data, and that's done. And my colleague, Pak Eri, will discuss about digitalization. Hopefully, he will be in line with us. Now, everybody panic about ChatGPT. Wow. And somebody in, I don't know, in where, asked me, hey, Hermawan, how about ChatGPT? ChatGPT, you can ask anything. You don't need CL anymore. Oh, ChatGPT. I'm sure that ChatGPT will have competitor. And there are so many ChatGPT. Like now, you go to Google, you don't know which information is credible, which information is right, which result is wrong. Why we don't use machine? We have to use machine. We cannot ignore machine. Let machine improve our productivity and manage our professionalism. So if we divide into two, CI and EL, actually PI and PM, so we have left and right. And this is marketing, because marketing people must be creative, innovative, entrepreneurship, leadership. But finance people usually more focused on productivity, improvement, professionalism, and management. After teaching 20 years, I was working for 2 companies owned by my ex-student. Pak, you work with me, experience after teaching. But after 5 years, I set up my own company. 33 years now is consulting company. Now 300 people working for me for consulting, research, training, and everything in Indonesia. And we just open again in Kuala Lumpur for ASEAN. And finance people usually focus on productivity, improvement. Marketing people usually always competing with finance people. Always argue in the meeting. Marketing language is very different from finance language. But we predicted and we argue in this book, and Wiley liked it so much that we have to integrate the contrasting thing. Marketing and finance, technology and humanity, and also creativity with professionalism, innovation with improvement, entrepreneurship and professionalism, leadership and management. Like yin yang. In Chinese, they call it yin yang. In Bali, if you go to Bali, our traditional costume with box, white box and black box. White and black is 2 contrasting things, but the Balinese believe that if you don't understand about bad things, you will not appreciate the white things. So white things and black things must be collaborating, or we have to understand 2 of them. So we have to understand machine. We cannot anti-machine. We cannot ignore machine. Let machine doing the improvement, productivity, professional management, but without creativity, productivity will be limited. Without innovation, improvement will be limited. Without entrepreneurship, professionalism will be limited. Leadership, management will be limited. So if we are human, used to be here, with the machine, give the machine the role to replace us here. But don't worry, as long as you enhance your capacity to CL. So that's why I have 1 son, 1 daughter. I send my son and my daughter since junior high school to US. And then my daughter told me, Pa, in Indonesia, you asked me to get A in mathematics, in science, but here, no. Drawing, speaking, debating, sport. It's very important. The same with mathematics. Mathematics is nothing. That's why all creative people go to Silicon Valley. But when I was in Interlaken, I was in Zurich. Wow, this country, Switzerland, less than 10 million. All the gondola using the technology. Wow, Eiger Express, more than 100 years. They have the technology, safe, Swiss technology. But so many advertising about Rolex, about And then we went to Jungfrau, you went to Lindt, the home of chocolate. Humanity. So Switzerland, I think, is one of the best example how to integrate machine and human. But I don't know. This digital time is another era. But 5D, 4C, PDB, 9E, I don't need to explain because this is about my marketing model that Philip Kotler like it. 5D, 5 drivers. 4C is competitor, customer, company, and change. PDB is positioning, differentiation, branding. So every time I was asked to speak at the diplomat school in Indonesia, I was asked to talk about marketing. I always talk about PDB. The real marketing is not communication, it's not selling, but how you differentiate your country. How you differentiate your country. Positioning, differentiation, branding. Without differentiation, you are not marketing. Communication is one part of the marketing. 9E. 9 element with segmentation, targeting, differentiation, marketing, mix, selling, brand, service, process. I don't need to explain it too long, but so many misunderstanding that marketing is communication, marketing is selling. All salesmen, all communication is oversell. That's why nobody believe on marketing anymore. Marketing have bad impact. That's why from marketing 3.0, I told for Professor, we have to reform the understanding of marketing. Yeah, those 5D, 4C, PDB, 9E. If you are interested, you can buy another book in Amazon. They will talk about this one, but the previous book. And balance sheet, income statement, cash flow, and market value is another common word in finance. So my model is to combine everything. If you have creativity by seeing the driver of the change, you see 5 driver, technology, political, legal, economy, social, culture, and market. If you see the changes, trend, and then you see we can improve the balance sheet. With less asset, we can have more return on asset. So productivity will improve and foresee the real advantage, how we compete with our competitor. And in order to win the customer, will have improvement in income statement, profit and loss. Margin will be improved. And PDB, the more differentiate, the more you becoming professional. If I go to marketing school and then, okay, differentiation, once I get differentiation, 5 years more, 5 years later, nobody can guarantee that somebody else not copy our differentiation, right? When I differentiate my product now, maybe tomorrow, another competitor will copy us and no differentiation anymore. So that's why we have to create another differentiation. And then our cash flow will be better. And if there is harmony and 9 elements, so our market value will be up. So everything must be reflected in operation. So that's why this is only episode 1. What makes Wiley interested in my model? This is what we call Omni model, Omni house model. Episode 2 will be out 2 years from now about operation. I will detail operation. Operation is about human resources and technology and supply chain and blah, blah, blah. QCD, quality, cost, and delivery. And it must be reflected here. Marketing and finance, technology, humanity, blah, 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 must be reflected here. So COO must understand finance, must understand marketing. COO must understand technology and must understand human resources. I think it is gone the time that we only focus in one function only. No, you can focus in one function, but you have to know the general knowledge about everywhere. This is the Omni house model. And the second episode will be about operation. And the third episode will be I promise you, new balance scorecard will be born. Maybe some of you familiar with balance scorecard. Balance scorecard was created by Kaplan and Norton, two accounting professor, 1992 already. They try to balance accounting, marketing, and 4 states: accounting, marketing, and operation, and then another one is dynamic. Learning. I will simplify into 3 only: marketing, finance, and operation. So I promise to Wiley the new balance scorecard from marketing point of view, not from accounting point. Kaplan and Norton is accounting point of view. This is from marketing point of view. I promise you 2027. Hopefully, I can improve this model, becoming the new balance scorecard. From marketing people, this is the spirit of Asia to the world, and hopefully I can contribute to Indonesia also with the new balance scorecard, the real contribution to the business school all over the world. That's why Wiley happy. Hermawan, please, until 2027 with Philip Kotler. So I hope the new Asian model will come to the world, from Asia to the world. Next. And this one, OmniStar. OmniStar and Zombie, no entrepreneurship, no professionalism. Zombie. That's why 90% of SME fail. Only 5%, I think, from SME becoming very successful, because SME in general, to be honest, so sorry to talk about SME. All government always help SME. I used to be the advisor to the Minister of Small Medium Enterprise in Indonesia, and I talked in UN New York for 3 times about why SME in general does not work in the world. Because they are not entrepreneur and they are not professional. Helped by the government all the time. So if you are real entrepreneur, you must have strong entrepreneur. But if you don't have professionalism, you becoming startup. Startup is very entrepreneur, dare to do anything, but no professional. But if you are too professional, like giant, sluggish giant, big corporation are trapped in professionalism. Nobody entrepreneur anymore. They are waiting. They like machine. They wait for the instruction. The bigger the organization, PIPM, not CL. But here, CL, but no PIPM. So we have to combine CL to create more productivity, more improvement, more professionalism, more management. CL cannot work without PIPM, but PIPM cannot work. You are not competitive anymore if you are not CL. That's why when a diplomat asks me, it is relevant for diplomat? Yes. In diplomatic, I'm honorary consul general of Czech Republic for 18 years. I was teaching about marketing in Prague 2 times because the government of Czech invited me to come there to talk with all diplomats of Czech Republic from all over the world. I said, wherever you are posted, remember differentiation. You are not the superpower. Superpower maybe, US. Maybe they are thinking that they are superpower, but China want to become the other superpower, and there will be no superpower. But what is the differentiation of US? It's better to talk about differentiation, not the best. You don't need to be the best. You don't need to be better. You just need to be different. But when one country catching you up with the differentiation, you have to be different again. Why BTS from Korea all of a sudden becoming like that? Yeah, very different. But somebody will catch up with the differentiation. I think BTS Blackpink must change the differentiation anymore. So we have to combine professionalism and entrepreneurship. At the end of the day, Creativity must have more productivity. Innovation must have more improvement. Entrepreneurship must help you to be more professional, and leadership must help you to be more entrepreneurial. And the last slide from me, next. Natu, India, just and first Asian Best Actress, Michelle Yeoh from Malaysia. I think because they are different, creative, and produce productivity, Nobel Oscar Prize, right? Indian Indian dance, very creative, and maybe the judge didn't understand what is this. Maybe they are tired already with the waltz, with whatever ballet, and yeah, sounds good. Yeah, sounds good. Okay. This maybe, and Michelle Yeoh, okay, Asian lady like this. This but that this is differentiation. Next, last slide. Last slide. This is. No, ayam kulit. Apa? Pulau kawan is like this. Yeah. But this is interesting. Good. Original concept from India. If you are familiar with Mahabharata, and there is a war over there, and Pandawa is the symbol. Next. This Indonesia, this is Jawa, Bali. Next. This is Bali, Trihita Karana, harmony with God, nature and people. This is Punokawan. This Punokawan. CL, creativity, innovation, entrepreneurship, leadership. Bagong Petruk Gareng Semar. You don't need to understand. Ask the ambassador to explain you. But this is unique in Indonesia, only from Indonesia. The original story from India, only Pandawa. Nakulo Sadewo, the twin brothers, and then Arjuna, improvement, and Bimo is the professional, and then Yudhishthira, the brother, the elder brother is the manager, and Semar is the father of all the three Punokawan. Next, and this is CL and BIPM. Bagong Petruk Gareng Semar. Ideas, solution, value, creating value, values. If you create value without values, you becoming mafia. Without values, right? And then this is productivity, the twin brother, improvement, Arjuna, and Bimo, professionalism and management. Yudhishthira, the elder brother, Pandawa, Punokawan. This will be replaced by machine. This is the real human. Next. Bagong Petruk Gareng Semar. Next. Yeah, this is Pandawa. Next. The last slide, I think. This is Switzerland. I went to Lin. Wow, this is human. Titoni, this is human. Movenpick, this is human. But technology in Switzerland is amazing. So I will end my presentation. So the message is so clear. In this more uncertain world, nobody can predict when the Russia-Ukraine war will end. Now Xi Jinping in Russia, I don't know what happened after this. ICC already put something on Putin. We don't know. And after that, I don't know what happened in the world if China and US will have a Cold War and blah, blah, blah. And we are in Geneva and we are in New York City. We'll be confused how to solve the problem of the world. Maybe everybody, including diplomats, must combine CLN, PIPM, and their day-to-day operation. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Pak Hermawan, for your short but excellent presentation. It is very remarkable, if I may say, how the Omni House model could link the relevant elements related to marketing, Pak. From marketing, technology, humanity, finance, creativity, innovation, entrepreneurship, leadership, productivity, improvement, etc., etc. Amazing how the book explains the relation among all of them with very clearly, Pak, ya. And we look forward, Pak, for your next book in 2027, is it, on marketing balance scorecards. I don't come from the marketing sector, but after reading a little bit about your book, it seems very relevant with all other sectors. In this regard, we believe that it is very appropriate, since we are in WIPO building, we could also discuss the relation of the book with the IP sector. For this, we have here today Pak Eri Prasetyo, one of Indonesia's brightest working at WIPO. So without further ado, I kindly invite Pak Eri to provide his remarks and presentation. Pak Eri, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Pak Andri, His Excellency Ambassador, Permanent Representative of the Republic of Indonesia to the UN, WTO, and international organizations in Geneva. Pak Hermawan Kertajaya, Indonesia's marketing guru, an inspiration for all entrepreneurs, I think. And ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I would like to first convey my gratitude and appreciation to the Permanent Mission and Pak Hermawan for the opportunity to participate as a discussion within this very important event, which is the book launch of the book Entrepreneurial Marketing that all of us have just heard from Pak Hermawan himself. Well, I will only share, first of all, Pak Hermawan mentioned that life starts at 70, so I'm not even born yet. So maybe, I'm sorry if I'm not as inspirational as the ambassador and Pak Hermawan. And so I would really understand if you feel a bit sleepy, you can still have coffee while I'm speaking, so it's fine. I think you can take coffee and then go back and continue the discussion. Well, in brief, I will share two main points as discussion to this book launch. First would be, I would like to point and some of the highlights within the book that are related on the connection between intellectual property and entrepreneurship and businesses. And then I will continue on with what WIPO actually do in our program and activities that support all entrepreneurs everywhere in the world to unlock value addition and competitive advantage through intellectual property, which is something that Pak Hermawan was already mentioning, how to transform creativity and innovation to such an abstract concept, right? Everybody throw the word, I'm creative, I'm innovative. You hear this in every meeting, in every focus group discussion, in every speech of the presidents or MPs, they talk about creativity and innovation, but these are just abstract concepts. The embodiment of this the concrete embodiment of these abstract concepts are intellectual property. Your creativity and innovation will worth nothing if you don't turn it into trademark, industrial design, patent, trade secret, or other kind of intellectual property. Well, the first part would be, I would like to talk about the Omni House model that you just heard before and its connection with IP, because Pak Hermawan Kertajaya has mentioned the three key points, which is positioning, differentiating, and brand. And here, if you want to position yourself, you want to differentiate yourself, you want to have a strong brand, you need trademark and design. This is the easiest forms of intellectual property to acquire, which is trademark and design. You can have strong trademark, but then if your design is not good, you cannot really differentiate and position yourself within this very crowded market. Like Pak Hermawan also mentioned in the book, in the future, we will have a very crowded market because of digitalization. Anyone can search for anything now. If you want to look for something, you just Google it or put in the internet, I want this. If your brand is not strong, if your design and packaging are not differentiating yourself from your competitor, then people will just pick the cheapest one they can find on the internet. They will not Google your trademark. They will just Google, oh, I want a soda instead of a particular brand name. But if you have a strong trademark, strong identification and differentiation through IP, people will search for your mark in the internet and your competitor will not show up. Only your product and services will show up in this crowded market. So this is very important, and this is what the book is actually talk about. You know, how to position yourself and differentiate yourself from your competitors, and this should be protected through IP. And second, the book also dig deep on rethinking competition, and in order to compete in a very crowded market and a very digitalized market that we have today, we have to, and Pak Hermawan in the book talk about unforgiving players in crowded market. This is where IP is coming to solve all of the challenges, you know, again, like what I said, for example, Eiger, that you were just there to open the first shop in Switzerland. So this is very important actually. Just a quick remarks. Indonesia only joined the Madrid system in 2018. So Madrid system allows any company to register their trademark in one IP office, and then they can pick the Madrid route so that it will be registered in other territories that is, you know, beyond the national territories of where that company is. And Eiger is one of the first Indonesian company to use the Madrid route after Indonesia joined Madrid. And now they opened their store in Switzerland. So this also highlight how IP is important to enter foreign market. Why it is important to enter foreign market? If you don't have your IP protected and you want to export your products or services, right? First of all, you are very prone to imitation because your partner know that your IP are not protected. So then you don't have the guarantee to make sure that whatever product or services you try to export will be protected in that market. So this is actually one of the reasons why it is very important, and the book has actually talked about a lot of intellectual property. So I will not really going on deeper. You really have to get the book and read it. It really goes towards the future of the world economy, the future of how consumers will react, the futures of entrepreneurship, and IP is really in the center of it. What I would like to highlight now is what WIPO actually do, because WIPO share this, as the ambassador has mentioned earlier in his opening remarks. The Director General actually want to make sure that WIPO programs and activities will also be there for the underserved communities of intellectual property. These underserved communities are usually entrepreneurs that are SMEs or women or youth. So we want to make sure that these future entrepreneurs, SMEs, women, and youth will use their IP so that they can actually gain competitive advantage and make sure they get value addition through their creation and innovation. You know, otherwise, again, their creativity and innovation will be just an abstract concepts. It will never be something concrete. It will never be something that they can translate to their balance sheet. It will remain as an intangible asset. You cannot put it as a tangible asset if you don't transform your creativity and innovation into intellectual property. So this is what WIPO is doing. WIPO makes sure that IP will defend competitive space. WIPO make sure that IP will increase visibility in a crowded market. WIPO makes sure through its program and activities on this issue or IP financing. So when you have trademark, you have design, you have patent, you have trade secret, you can actually use it as a leverage to negotiate, or even as a collateral to financial institutions, so that your intangible assets will have value. And there's something in the book, you know, how to make sure that creativity will also be reflected in the balance sheet. You know, it's not something that is totally different, you know. And then and this for all member states, you can always contact the IP for Business division. They have all the tools to support SMEs, to support women, to support youth, to support any entrepreneurship, to make sure they can use their IP. And maybe lastly, what Pak Hermawan was mentioning already about his next book on the future, you know, on metaverse, AI, and blockchain. WIPO also very active in this. I'm sure you all know about the WIPO conversations within our division, which is the IP and frontier technologies. And there have been discussion, there have been activities that WIPO is trying to make sure that we're in line with our mission, you know, to lead the development of a balanced international intellectual property system that works for everyone. The IP and frontier technology has been doing a lot of activities that I suggest you all follow, including things on blockchain, artificial intelligence, and metaverse. And actually, this end of this month, which is 29th and 30th of March, they will have the 7 WIPO conversation on IP and metaverse, and you can all participate. Yeah, you can participate online, just registered. It's on the WIPO website. I think I will not really spend more time. I think I have made my points clear that whatever the books, maybe it's about marketing. This is way more than IP, but it is actually, there's a lot of things on intellectual property there. It also highlights the importance of intellectual property, and WIPO is here to help member states, or everyone, not just member states. You know, we work with private sector, with SMEs, with NGOs, with universities, to ensure that creativity and innovation would be transformed into something concrete that helps everyone everywhere solve challenges. So again, thank you very much for the opportunity, Mr. Ambassador and Pak Hermawan Kertajaya.
Thank you, Pak Eri. I truly agree, Pak. It was very clear and very concise, I guess. Pak Eri explained very clearly how the IP is very related with your book and with marketing. I mean, with business, and how WIPO is trying to push entrepreneurs to understand IP, including its finance aspects. Thank you, Pak Eri, again. And for our last session, I think we should provide opportunity for the viewers to have questions, to ask a question. I guess from here or from the Zoom. YouTube? Oh, it's YouTube. Okay. I invite participants.
Excuse me, my English is very bad. I am from French country, but I will struggle small and explain myself in English. First, I came here by the name of His Excellency, our ambassador from Togo in Geneva. I'm Mohamed Nourdin Asindu, and I'm Minister Consul. When I was coming here, I asked myself, what am I going to? I come, there was food. I said, no, I don't want to eat. I want to know what is happening. Really, I'm surprised. And if we steadily look about and understand what you have said, I'm sure that peace will wake up and war will be broken with your model. But what I want you to know is there is something in the West. We African people, we are rising up, inshallah. We're gonna learn about your model and take more experience and more comprehension of those kind of system. And I thank you very much. And me and, entre parenthèses, me and Indonesia is alive. My scholarship was paid by Muhammad Ghazali, who was director of scholarship in Bank of Arabic, Bank Arab Musulman in Saudi Arabia. And I was very happy when I met the famous people of your country at Saudi Arabia when I was invited by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I don't want to go back and do the report to my ambassador without having your book. It's not forgiving. I'm ready to buy it. So thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, our colleague from Togo. Yes. Thank you. Next, we have a question from the Zoom. Ask me to read it for all of us. First, how the seal would be applied in Industry 4.0. That's the first question of Mr. Vedit. Two, regarding the book, how was the process in finishing this book? What was the challenges you had and your colleagues had in writing this book? And finally, whether there's gonna be a plan to continue a next topic in relation with the book, which I think you explained a little bit before, right? And what will be the focus in this book? I think that's the three questions.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Question number one, there is a big difference between Industry 4.0 and Society 5.0 actually. So many people are confused that we are in Industry 5.0 already. No. To me, industry is still 4.0. That's why Marketing 4.0, my book about 5 years ago, is about technology in Industry 4.0. So until now, I think most technology are still 4.0. And the term 4.0, Industry 4.0 was declared by Germany for the first time, I think. But 5.0 was declared by Japan. Yeah, Society 5.0. That's why my book, Marketing 5.0, the subtitle is Technology for Humanity. So we dedicate the technology for good. Don't use the technology for bad. So that's why how to use the CL in Industry 4.0, I think it's very clear. If you only focus how to use Industry 4.0, Technology 4.0, might be dangerous in order to go to bad impact to the customer as human. That's why we have Semar. Semar is the symbol of leader. Leader is about values. Entrepreneur is Gareng. Gareng is about value. So creating value with values. So we divide into two parts. CI, creativity, ideas, into solution. Solution is innovation. But if there are no entrepreneurs who want to take risks and the creator forget to register in WIPO, I think the entrepreneur will not pay anything to the creator, just salary probably. In Japan, Japanese company, many creators only paid by salary because they are very loyal to the company. So there must be entrepreneur to see that this innovation will work. But leader is always the guard. How to create value with values. So I think this is the point for question number one. Question number two, yeah, I'm the originator, but Dr. Jackie Musri from my company in Jakarta as the fourth co-author here. He has been working with me 25 years. He has a PhD and he can combine right brain and left brain because he used to be #1 top DJ in Indonesia. So CL is in his practice, but PM also because he has a PhD. So he can combine, he write the book, he is the real writer, he is the one who find the example and blah, 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 and working with Professor Philip Kotler and Wiley. And Professor Hui Ten Wan from Nanyang Technopreneurship University in Singapore helped a lot with many things to complete the book. And number 3 is about, yes, next topic will be episode 2. I talk about episode 2. 2 years from now, I already wrote to Wiley that now we are going everywhere to promote this book to help. Even you are very optimistic, but we are still promote, and because of the ambassador here, we can use this very prestigious building in WIPO. And the next will be entrepreneur marketing too, but that is the temporary title. But it will be focusing on the operation itself. But we will maintain marketing and finance. And the third episode will be in 2027, the new balance scorecard. The new balance scorecard.
Okay, thank you, Pak Hermawan. I open again to the floor, although I have further questions in the Zoom. Amir?
Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to thank the Mission of Indonesia for preparing this session and also for insightful presentation that we heard here. I am Amir from Permanent Mission of Iran, and I would like to ask His Excellency a question regarding the metaverse. You know, everybody aware about the roles of digital platforms in trade and commerce, but the next step would be the using the, I should say, metaverse in trade, as one of our scientists predict in 20 years ago. And I would like to know the Excellency's view regarding this issue, that the next step, what would be, how it can happen and how it can be possible we use metaverse for commerce and trade. Thank you so much.
Amir, can you elaborate again?
One of our scientists 20 years ago predicted the role of IT in trade, and I should say in the internal issue and also in international trade. Nowadays, somebody talks about the roles of metaverse in trade. For example, you can sit here, metaverse can take to the Paris, you can go to a shopping center, you can buy something and back to the to your place without doing travel or without going to the that place. So this is something our scientists predict 20 years ago, and I would like to know it can be happened or not. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I think I will first say something about this, and maybe if Pak Hermawan would want to add a few questions. So I think this is something that at least we in WIPO are very excited about, and I think this might actually be very true. We have seen some sort of prototypes of it. You know, we have seen the first beta version, if I may say, being launched or being rolled out by some companies. But again, no matter what, whether it is through metaverse or digitalization, but we still touch upon something that rings true, even though we applied it to today's reality, right? Which is a very crowded market with a lot of competitors. That again, because I'm from WIPO, so maybe I will again emphasizing on the fact that in this kind of world, your intellectual property is what really matters, you know, because this actually started even before metaverse, when globalization first started. So before globalization, for example, and forgive me if this, so I would just like make this as an example. For example, before globalization, if we want carpet, we will buy it from Iran. It's a Persian carpet. After globalization, anywhere in the world can make carpet, right? And then you have to use IP from geographical indication to actually differentiate the Persian tapi. Otherwise, then someone in another country can make a very similar product like what the Persian do and just sell it as a Persian carpet. So even before metaverse, this is something that we are already, we have to face the challenges already, right? We are facing with a crowded market since globalization. Before, it was only the Italian and the French that can make wine. Now even in Bali we make wine. So how do the French and Italian wine fight for this competition? Globalization allows that everyone everywhere can produce anything they want, right? And this is where intellectual property then becomes very important. And what metaverse is going to do with this prediction will be the same impact as globalization have been done to us which is you have to be able to position yourself. You have to be able to differentiate yourself. You have to be able to transform your creativity and innovation into value, which is true intellectual property. You have to defend your competitive space because you can be creative, you can be innovative, but in the world of metaverse and globalized world, if you don't defend your competitive space through IP, everyone will just copy what you do, and your creativity and innovation will add no value to whatever products and services you're done. Again, I'm sorry, but I will just focus on the IP side on this. I will ask if Pak Hermawan wants to add 1 or 2 words with regard to this question.
Thank you. Now I'm a little bit clear about because my English listening is not good. So if we are talking about metaverse, even more dangerous because people can use avatar, right? So which one is the real one? Which one is the fake one? We don't know. So that's why our next book, not Entrepreneur Marketing Episode 2, but Marketing 6.0 by Wiley will be out this December. We will warn. And now there is a WIPO officer. Please think about the fake thing in technology. I'm sure that UN will already discuss about technology for good. I know Pak University of Gadjah Mada now working together with UNESCO to work on ethics on IT. So what is the ethic have to be used in IT? But now the ethics is only you cannot use internet or social media to just say something without proof and anything. But in metaverse, you will be easily to be somebody else, right? And how WIPO now will transform itself in giving the intellectual right not only for those who register, but really have to be proof that this is the real one. And I believe if WIPO do it, it will be a strong differentiator for the player, I think. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Hermawan. Any more questions?
Hello, Pak. My name is Diki Agustian. I'm a student in hospitality industry management. I would like to ask you, Pak Hermawan. My thesis said we didn't get money from the time, but we get money from value bring into place market. And then the question is, do we possible to make it value twice as possible? And what is the step is? Thank you.
Yeah, but how to get money from values?
How to make twice the value, or like maybe,
or to improve value.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you see Switzerland, so many good brands from Switzerland. Eh? Brand means value. We in marketing world, we believe only 3: customer, product, and brand. And brand is the value creator, not product actually. Product, people can copy your product more easily than copy your brand, right? And customer, yeah, customer is very important, but customer can switch from one product to another product. So the only way to win the competition is how to create strong brand, maybe by registering our brand in WIPO with a very strong supervision. But don't forget to create more and more differentiation. And the more the differentiation must go into values. If you don't go into values, you differentiate yourself into bad things, I think your brand will be ruining from time to time. I don't know. Hopefully it will answer your question.
Perhaps this is the last questions from the Zoom. Mr. Sampurna asked us to read it for him. Indonesia is coming to the second year after the pandemic. It is hoped that the small enterprises will boost the economy of the country. And he would like to know how the book would help the small, medium enterprises to do this. In particular, using the Punokawan story or principles.
Actually, I already go to many cities in Indonesia, also many cities in the world, because I used to be the special advisor to the Minister of Small Medium Enterprise for 5 years. So I went to United Nations, to New York for 3 times, speaking here, speaking there, in Italy. So in general, small medium enterprise character is the same. Every country in the world, they want to be protected by the government. They want to get not only protection, they want to get help. They want to get everything, and with too much help, sometimes the entrepreneur will not become the real entrepreneur. For example, in Indonesia, the government already have a lot of budget to promote the product through offline exhibition and online trading. But if they put in the exhibition and they put on the online, and they are not Punokawan, they don't have Punokawan spirit, they don't have creativity, they don't have innovation, they are not a real entrepreneur, they don't have the real leadership. Finally, they cannot sell the product. And then afterward, they always go back to the government, please help to buy the product. That is not the mentality of small medium. That's why I always say that be the real entrepreneur. If you want to be small medium enterprise, small medium entrepreneur, entrepreneur means that you dare to fall. The dare to wake up again after falling down, and not to repeat the same cause, the same reason why you fall, right? If you fall 2 times or 3 times with the same reason, you don't learn anything. So a lot of work to be done, not only in Indonesia and all over the world. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Pak Hermawan. Okay. So I can, yes, last question. Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pak Gunawan, atas waktunya. Pertanyaan saya sebenarnya banyak, tapi saya akan cuma satu pertanyaan saja. So it's all about the personal branding. What could you advise to be as when you want to go to marketplace? What is your best advice? And what is the connecting between marketing strategy and negotiation in the point of view? That's all. Thank you very much.
Wow. Negotiation is lobbying, actually. You must learn from diplomat. Yeah. But it is related. You know, PDB is the core of marketing, positioning, differentiation, branding. So personal branding is part of personal marketing, for sure. So that's why don't even think that marketing is only communication and selling. But you must have your own positioning. If you want to do personal branding for you, yourself, think about personal positioning. I didn't complete my bachelor degree, right? In the beginning in Indonesia. Yeah, finally I got my bachelor degree, but I don't position myself as a scholar. I position myself as a practitioner who simplify the complex thing. And I don't need to be a professor, because professor complicate the simple thing. So I differentiate myself very clear. But now, so many motivators also. And then I have to differentiate myself again from motivators. How I can differentiate? I'm not a motivator. I'm a thinker, and I share my thing. So that is the way I differentiate from motivator. Sometimes you go to motivator session, you get inspired after 1 hour, and then you forget about what is the content of the session. But with me, you always get the content. That is the difference. Yeah, and negotiation, yes, because selling is one part, one element of marketing. Marketing is 9 elements. Remember, segmentation, targeting, positioning, STP, DMS, differentiation, marketing, mix, and selling, and BSP, brand service process. So selling is negotiation and must create win-win, right? Negotiation must create win-win, or at least perceive win-win. At least you learn from diplomat how to create perceive win-win. So the other part of negotiation must feel that they win also, right? We win and they win, and the relationship can go forever. Yeah, that's why don't fire the bridge. I learned from diplomat, because I teach in diplomat school many times, more than 20 times. And my student told me, "Pa, you must learn from us. What? Don't fire the bridge. Because if you don't burn the bridge, if you burn the bridge, you will not get there when you need to get there anytime." Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Herman. Unfortunately, we have to conclude our session, but of course we can continue our question and answers after while having drinks and makan sate, maybe. So again, on behalf of the Permanent Mission of Indonesia and the Pak Hermawan team, we would like to thank you for attending our event here, especially with our speakers, Pak Dubes, Pak Hermawan, and Pak Heri. Another round of applause for the speakers.